Sister, let me ask again. On the issue of this child protection, one of the things that could be done to protect a child is taking that child away from the parents and putting that child you're laughing. Which is a very, very big issue in foster care.
Especially for us black,
For us.
black communities.
It's almost like sacrilegious.
Yeah.
Now, have you had social work? Have you had social work? So it's almost like if that happens, the person would want the world to end.
Yes, it's always terrible for people.
It's unimaginable.
Exactly.
It's unimaginable. But I think the reason why I laughed is, that is really how what we think. But in practice, it's not like that.
Okay.
Removing a child is a significant step.
Right.
That people take, and it doesn't happen overnight. So, however, let me break it into pieces. So, for instance, if a child goes to school and disclose that something happened, maybe harm or abuse or whatever that's happening at home. So again, the school will trigger to the social work services. And then at that point, they might decide to phone the police depending on what is involved. They might then do joint visits to the family, or they might ask the family, the social work to go at first instance. So now, when it's involved physical, physical abuse, they might tend to take that child away at that day. Not removing the child from you, but they will check, do you have any relative? They will find, because they said any action that we are taking should be beneficial to that child, should be less restrictive, at that proportionate. So they will try and check whether, see when you're registering your child, there is another person, contact person, emergency contact,
in schools. Yeah.
So they will check.
Barrister, you are the emergency contact for my kids.
Exactly.
So they will check that emergency contact, and if that person will be able to accommodate. So they're only removing the child temporarily to do an investigation, because when that child they don't know what is going to happen. So at that point, it's just an investigative stage. So they will remove the child and place it on emergency contact person. But the issue we have, because we are migrants, you might not know anyone, especially when you're new. I have worked with a family, they came in certain point in the year, and then the following, just within the space of 1 month. You understand? So then they didn't see their name in the system. There was no history. Then the person that they phoned to come in, I believe they have checked the person and maybe they didn't get any history. So they made that decision, okay, let's remove these children. And one of the things that happen is that if there are 3 children in the family and there's only, one that made the decision, unfortunately, 3, all of them will be removed at that point, just to do the investigation.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So let me ask something.
Ask
So in a situation where, because I know that, for instance, when people want to foster kids, there are certain investigations that are, made, including the number of bedrooms that they have. To make sure that they can do that. So what if the emergency contact is, by virtue of their home where they are living, is not able to accommodate the whole children, when it's not a question of removing only one child? You need to remove all the kids.
All the children.
Is that not what leads to this fear that we have, that as black communities, our children will be taken and given to white people? Because most of us don't live in houses.
So what happened is that, so at that initial stage, like I said, they want to take least restriction, just something that is proportionate to that person. They still want to keep the child within the community. You understand? So they will check this information they're looking for now. But when it's maybe if the emergency contact is not able to accommodate, they will look for other people. They will check if you have other people, and then they will vet the name. They will go to the system.
So it has to be a case where they would keep these children together. And that's
they will try and find, because this is an emergency thing.
Yes,
so it's an emergency response.
And it's temporary.
It's not a permanent.
Yeah.
Remember, it's just the investigative stage, just to find out that information that was disclosed. Is it correct? What happened? And then do you need any
sister,
help?
let me ask now. We are talking of when there's a red flag,
Yes.
a risk flag.
Yeah, something was disclosed in
Okay.
school or
And
somebody reports something.
from the some few minutes back, you said there are some preliminary investigations that can be done,
Yes.
and you can close the case quickly.
Yes.
Is it in all circumstances when you are moving steps forward to the investigation that you take these kids away, or is there
Depending on what is disclosed.
Okay.
So depending on they said we weigh the risks
Risk.
and the benefits. So really depends on what that child
From your
disclosed.
experience, what are the kind of things, issues, neglect, abuse, violence?
So if something
that
is
could
physical,
trigger this,
if something went physical, the child, they beat a child, there is mark and there are other things. Even if there is no mark at first instance, we are not in a position to do that. They will refer to medicals for that to be checked out.
Yeah, and I know that in Scotland, legislation now is that you can't even touch a child at all.
Yeah,
even pulling the child's ear is prohibited.
Yeah.
In fact, if you hit
As
your
a
child
form
on the
of
head,
punishment.
yes, as
Yeah,
a form
you
of
don't do
punishment.
that.
There's no corporal punishment anymore.
Yeah, so you don't do that.
You don't.
Yeah,
I think it's a big,
if you do that, it's a criminal.
It's a criminal offense, yes.
So the police is gonna charge you. Why the
Exactly.
social
It's a
worker
worker
doing
is
that?
doing
So
their
you
own.
have two people.
So while you are in jail, your child will be taken
Taken
care of
away.
by another sister. There's always this argument that most kids raised in foster home, chances of them succeeding in terms of living a normal life, not joining gangs, not derailing, is very, very limited. That's always, it's always like it's a testimony. Somebody grew up in foster care or foster home and made it in life or become a responsible adult. So it tells you all you need to know. That does that sound like it's actually the proper thing? It could be a case of out of an anger, a parent. I'm not advocating for that.
Yeah.
That had some physical abuse on the child and is removed and taken to a foster care where the child's situation will even be worse. I had a story. In fact, they phoned me from Nigeria to see if I could help them. It's a Nigerian family, to see if I could help them. They took away the kids because I think it was a case of mildly smacking a child, and they took the kids away.
Yeah.
And to the extent that the kids were crying that they want to go back to their parents, and that didn't happen. So would that be a case of killing a fly with a sledgehammer? You take the child away because of this minor thing and take her to a foster care where at the end of the day it might turn out worse than what you are trying to prevent.
I suppose what I'm saying here is, as a professional, I've been there. Okay, so some of the things that people say are untrue.
Right.
So that's just what I need to assure you.
Okay.
So see, when someone alleges, oh, my child has been taken, I didn't do anything, it's a lengthy process. So I started by giving you what happens at that first instance. So they will look for, let me tell you again, there is no money, there is no resources. So taking a child to a foster home costs a lot of money.
Okay.
I think it's up to 700 per week for a child.
Really?
So it's expensive. So governments want to cut, there is no money. So they want to cut it as much as possible. Again, the best interest of the child, something that will benefit the child and proportionate.
So that means it's not an action they take at the first instance.
No. So it's the process. So like I was giving an example. So if that child is removed for investigation, maybe to a family member, if they don't see a family member at that point, or maybe you're new in the country, you don't know anyone, they will then take to foster. And they will try and complete that investigation. There is a time frame. I think some of them are either 10 days, depending, 15 days, 20, maximum 28. If it's going to reach up to that 28. So they look at all those things. If it's a case of referring for medicals, they will do the medicals, and then they will come and then have discussion and say, we did not find any evidence. Or they will check. Again, they are not coming to be, they are not overcritical. They're only, it's just like me and you. Because I'm doing the job, that's why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You understand? So nobody wants to criticize you. Nobody wants to remove your child. It's just that we just need to make sure that we are all working together. You understand?
Let me ask now. I know, Barrister, you are an expert in criminal law as well. When somebody commits a crime and is prosecuted and convicted, there is sentencing guidelines.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are occasions where you tap the person at the back, don't do this again, or give the person fine or remand instead of going to prison.
Yeah.
Is that the case in social work?
Yes.
We are okay.
Yeah, so I will explain that. So in that process, depending on what they might decide, okay, maybe this is a poor parenting.
Okay.
Maybe this is just one off, or maybe this child is just, overreacting. They will look at all those things, address it with, the family, and then they will decide to close the case. So one of the things that I will encourage people to do is that as soon as they say they are closing the case, make sure you get a letter to say that we have looked into this, there is nothing. Then the children will be,
Please make that point again.
Yes, you need to make this point.
Make that
Very,
point.
very
Let's our viewers
important.
understand.
Yes.
It's very, very
So,
important. Well, we are not encouraging them to go and abuse their kids,
Yes.
but
just in case if something happen, we all have children, you know. And again, see our social workers, everybody have different skills that they are bringing to the, to the job. People who don't understand your culture, there are people who don't understand the way you behave, so how you interact, how you make that section for you guys during that interaction is very important. So like I said, so they will look into that case, and if they decide that there is no risk, there is nothing, the children will be quick. If they remove the children, that at the need, they will return the children. That's it.
Oh, so that's the end of the time scale, so that they complete the investigation and return the kids.
You're having your children.
Your advice is make sure you get proper documentation.
So as soon as they say that they close the case, try and tell the worker, please, can we have a letter to say that this has been closed? Very important. Because sometimes social work services will look at things and then decide they won't close the case. Maybe they have referred it to the police, and the police are doing the investigation. And then at some point they will call you back and say police has found that you did this. Therefore, you understand. So it's not a straightforward case. But please, in terms of removing a child, is a whole lot of process. So assuming that they find that that parent, they need parental training, they will refer you to the parental training.
Brilliant.
They will check so many things, and then if they feel that they need to refer the case to child protection, then there's something that they call the children reporter. I don't know if you heard about children reporter Scotland. So they are the ones that will make the decision. So the social work services will be in that meeting. If the police is involved, the police will come, the parents, the children, then they will have a meeting to find out what happened, and then they will then make the decision. Oh, we are concerned about this child, therefore let's go further towards the child protection process. They will invoke the child protection process. And then what it means is that the social work services have the responsibility to be coming to your house every week.
Wow.
So, it's a matter of you must engage.
Yeah.
So is it, sorry for cutting you short, is it coming to your house every week because the child is still living with you?
Yeah, because
or even when
it's
the child
part
is
of
not
the
living with you?
process. No, if the child is living with you, so if the child is living with you, they will be coming. If the child is still removed, it's a meeting. So they will establish a contact place for you to be going to be seeing the children. So they will come in there to monitor. That's what they call contact, to see how you're.
Sister, thank you, Sister, and thank you so much for this very, very beautiful explanation. You hear a lot of things. That's why I said this is a very educating, entertaining, and a process of unpacking a lot of things that looks mysterious to all of us.
Exactly.
One last question with you. With what Sister Anne has been describing, Scotland, the process, the social work, interagency coordination, the preliminary investigation, oh my God. Do you think there's a hope for Nigeria?
I don't think so. I'm sorry to be pessimistic about Nigeria.
I think I will stop bringing
I don't think so. I don't think there is any hope. Because for a people who want there to be hope for their kids, you will see that they are taking steps towards that. Even when those steps have not been successful, at least you see steps being established. There used to be universal basic education, but every time people are calling me at home that I should give them money to pay school fees. School fees for what? There's universal basic education. They tell you that's in the news. It's not that in practice.
Do you know here it's compulsory for a child to go to school from primary, from nursery or to from primary.
Yes.
So that child must be in school. If they are not, the parents, they can take you to it can invoke child protection if that is not happening.
Well, thank you so much, Sister Anne. Please thank you for coming. I just want you to put out a kind of one last piece of advice for migrants to be able to, navigate this tricky and, slippery waters of child protection.
Yes.
What do you have out there for the migrants?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think what I will advise everyone is when you come into the country, try and find out the way they behave, what they do, what is applicable and what is not applicable. For instance, in terms of people who are driving, the country say you have to drive with a valid driving license. Make sure you drive it. So when you have a child, make sure you know the law, ask questions.
Yeah.
If possible, start attending your local organizations. If your people have, for instance, if there are any local group, go there, join them, find out. Then if you have any social work issues, don't beat a child. Let me say that one. Do not beat a child. You are not allowed to beat a child in Scotland. So do not do that. Look after your child. If anything happens, social work is approaching you. They are not coming to take your children away. Listen to them, work with them, know what they are saying. Okay. So removing a child is a lengthy process. It doesn't happen overnight. And another thing I need to encourage we that are migrants, there is something we call, I've made mention of the children reporter. Please go online, check what children reporter is. You can actually be one of the member of the panel who make this decision whether a child needs to go to child protection or need to be removed. If you're not going, I made a presentation in one of the group, and somebody actually applied for that child reporter, and the person is now a member of the panel, which I really love that news. So I will encourage you guys, if you have time, go just check what child reporter is all about. Is a voluntary thing. Go there and be part of the panel to make decisions.
I've heard about children hearing.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's a very
Anybody
nice
can be part of it. So that's you bring your own culture.
I'm just hearing it for now.
Yes,
I'll probably go and check it out, and I've learned that one today. That's why I said this is very, very educating.
I know it's a voluntary something.
I'll go and take that out and see.
They will train you.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's also a very good skill to add
to your CV. Yes,
even if it's the only one child that
Mazi, thank you so much. Thank you, Mazi. Barrister Joko. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And Stan, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you for the work you do for the community, for migrants. From this discussion, you will all agree with me that the issue of child protection is not only for the experts, it's for the parents, it's for the teachers, it's for all of us in our local communities, even in our churches, place of worship, even where we work, even our local communities where we meet as migrants. Let's be our brother's keeper. And to our viewers, thank you so much for staying with us. And if you've not been watching our episodes, go there, subscribe, share, like, comment. The handle is Glasscast Podcast on every social media handle: YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and very soon we'll be hitting Spotify.
Definitely.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And see you in the next episodes.
Thank you.
Thank you.